let's make a tie blanket. So traditionally you pick a pattern material and then a solid material. Now this only works with polar fleece. If you try it in any other fabric, you're just gonna be sad. Typically polar fleece comes in a 58 or 60 inch wide width, but make sure they are at least roughly the same size. Now there is a right and wrong side to even solid colored fleece. The best way to test this is to pull, and whichever side it curls at is the wrong side. If you have anti-pill, it's the rougher side that's the correct side. Now lay out your solid, with the right side facing down. Make sure it's as smooth as possible. Now I buy 3 yards because I like extra large blankets, but 2.5 is the standard adult size. Now do the same thing with your pattern fabric on top of it, lining up the edges as best as you can. Now you can see my edges don't perfectly line up. That's very normal because fleece is almost never the exact same length, and your cutting person will not cut it the exact same length either. Oh, and the pattern piece should be right side up. Now take a good fabric scissors and trim evenly all around the border so they are the same side. You especially want to get rid of this edge, which is called the selvage. So you want to go slow and make sure that you have nice even cuts. See how much nicer that looks? Now you ready for the life hack? You use the blue painter's tape to tape where your cut lines will be. Now I want really long fringe, so I'm doing 8 inches. But 5 or 6 is kind of the standard. Anything below 4 and you're just going to have a hard time tying the knots. Now first you're going to want to cut out these corners on this side of the tape. You want nice smooth cuts. Now you're going to cut strips up to that tape line. I make mine just about 1 inch or a little over 1 inch wide. Don't go too thin or else the fabric can rip. So you can see that's about what I do. So now that I've cut an entire row, I'm going to knot. Some people like to wait until the end to knot, but I find the fabric shifts more, so I like to do it as I finish each side. Now I use an overhand knot, and I make sure that the opposite color is always showing on the wrong side. The key to this is making sure whatever technique you use the exact same one all throughout it so it's nice and even. As you're going, make sure your knots aren't too tight that it scrunches up the fabric, or too loose so they'll come up. So you have 2 layers. You never want to separate these 2 layers. That's the most important part. So you're going to lift up, you're going to loop it around, push the end through the loop until you get a knot, then you're going to pull. And there you have an overhand knot on a fleece blanket. It takes a little more effort, but look at how nice that looks. Now you repeat everything for the other 3 sides. And then pull up the tape, and you've got yourself a really cool looking fringe blanket. And if you do it, the opposite color will show up on the other side. These are great for gifts or use for yourself, and some places will even accept them as donations. Have fun making your own.